So good afternoon. Firstly, I'd like to apologise to all the passengers for the delay yesterday. At around 2:30, as Jennifer's pointed out, we saw on the power rail system a ground fault. A ground fault tends to be when we've had an electrical disconnection. The offending device is this device here. Okay, this is a power collector shoe in its entirety. It's orientated on its back currently. However, that's the complete item, as it should have been attached to the train. Okay. What we did after finding the initial investigation, generally when we have a problem with a power collector shoe, what happens is we would dispatch someone to check the power rail. They are two shoes, a positive and a negative shoe. They're orientated on the vehicle in that same way, positive on the top, negative underneath. We have expansion joints in the power rail. Generally what happens, and we had this incident of a power rail incident in 2013 where we lost some shoes because of an open gap. That doesn't happen in the cold, but we went out and checked. We were checking on the Sky Bridge, we checked the downtown core, we checked the trains in the area. What we did is we dispatched two teams from Main Street and from Waterfront, and had to walk the entire guideway looking for the offending device. We couldn't find what happened. So two teams, as I say, walked towards one another. They looked out for any deficiencies we found in the rail. We then realised that we had some equipment stored at the Van Ness pocket. We had that equipment checked to see if there was anything in that area that was causing an offending item. Then we found vehicle 2, vehicle 002. And the orientation I want to take you through right now, where you're standing, Science World was to our left-hand side. You're standing in front of vehicle 2. Here is a parapet wall 5 metres in the air, looking out over the dock. So in a very confined space, and I am going to move here, in a very confined space here, I've got a parapet wall, and then this much space to work in. The offending collector assembly in its entirety, that one, was located here. So I've got a parapet wall here, and I've got this much space to work in. On the inside of the parapet wall, I've got the power rail, which are these two rails here. So parapet wall, power rails fixed to it. The collector assembly is jammed between the wheel, the track brake, and the negative rail. After seeing this, what we thought initially is we could cut it out. So we came in, we cut the collector shoe away from the train, however still couldn't get it out because of the limited space. We sent for some jacks. The jacks come because we actually believed that what we could do is with a train, small jacks, was manoeuvre the train out of the way. Actually, what came into effect was the space was too small, we could not get into the confined area, and the jacks we had were not the right ones. Hence, we went and sent for the heavy lifting jacks, and the equipment here is what we had to use. This consists of a hydraulic pump, hydraulic hoses, 2 hydraulic jacks, and a lifting beam. It takes us about an hour to set this up. Okay. Once it's set up, we have to have a safe working area. So sorry.
Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. I think, Richard, we want to highlight how heavy the equipment is too, to be able to bring it up to the guideway and for staff to be able to maneuver it. So feel free to go and kind of give it a lift yourself. Both this and this equipment is incredibly heavy also.
Yeah. Just to give that and follow on from that, that collector shoe assembly weighs around 55 pounds. So there was no way we were going to manhandle it out. So once we'd set the jacks up, we have to set up a safe working zone, and myself and my senior rail engineer were on site coordinating the works. And what happens, you have to have one person on the jack, on the hydraulic pump, one person for each jack to ensure that they lift in tandem, and a supervisor to make sure the works are coordinated correctly and the train comes up in one area. I can lift the train for you, and I'm going to, just to show you what that movability was. But not only did we lift it up, I had to move the train in the right hand direction looking at it. So we had to lift it up and then slide the train on to the right hand side to be able to remove the offending shoe collector assembly in its entirety. So in the time that it took for us to get the equipment onto site, set up, and safely remove the equipment, put the train back on the track, inspect the rest of the train, it was a 4-car Mark 1. Okay, it was offending, but the offending vehicle was vehicle 002, where the equipment was fouled on. Once we'd inspected that, we made the track safe, removed all the equipment, and restored service as soon as we could.